Welcome back to North Star Sports Talk.
Episode 4.
Yes.
Episode 4. Only missed his cue.
My bad.
Fucking loser. What are we talking about today, boys?
Definitely a lot of things going on over the course of the weekend. Going to talk about some college hockey, Super Bowl coming up round, so we're going to talk about that. Lots and lots of head coach rumors and talks, so we're also going to get into that. And then I'm also going to talk about loons and some MLS.
We got some wild news, and then I think we'll hit a little bit on the NFL draft with the Senior Bowl and Shrine Bowl going on right now.
There's the NHL playoff picture starting to set up a little bit too. I have the Wheel of Odds, the legendary Wheel of Odds, pulled up, so we'll take a little dive into the Wheel of Odds as well.
And as you guys can see, Tristan, Christian, they're back. Last week was so nice. We did it twice. All right, let's get into it.
So I think the big news for Minnesota Wild fans, Kaprizov is getting surgery on Friday. It has been kind of a reoccurring issue, which is why he was originally considered day-to-day and then ended up turning into a week-to-week. I mean, I love the guy. I want him to be playing, but this is the best course of action, especially if the Wild are going to be making the playoff runs, which it looks like they probably will if they keep up on their pace. So minimum 4 weeks here, probably 4 to 6 week timeline for his surgery recovery. So,
and if it's any solace, probably the best time of the season to be happening right now with the Four Nations face-off coming up. Everyone gets a bit of a rest. And yeah, I mean, groins are not something to mess with. They can linger for a long, long time, and you're not going to be playing at 100%. And he wasn't in his 3-game stint when he came back. He's playing at like 60, and it's Kaprizov. He's going to be going up, trying to be going 100%, and him injuring himself further is not good. So I think this is the right move. It sucks, but it is the right move long-term and for the playoffs.
I don't know if you guys saw him return with Spurgeon for the Utah game.
Yep.
But he seemed, I mean, obviously it's his first time being back in the ice since forever.
Wow.
But, I mean, obviously anyone with that kind of injury going back, and obviously now he's going back into surgery, I could tell that it was off. He was off. I mean, he wasn't doing the best. Spurgeon, he did pretty good. I mean,
Spurgeon recovered nicely.
Yeah. So it is unfortunate that he's going back into surgery, but I would rather have him healthy for playoffs than have him not at all.
Speaking of unfortunate and Utah, Utah Yeti and Utah Yetis are for sure not being an option. It is Utah Hockey Club. It is Utah Mammoth. And it is Utah. I don't want to try and pronounce it.
Washat.
Okay.
Something like that.
But it's fan voting. It's
up
only
here. Up here. Put it up here, the names.
Thanks, editor.
Fan voting in the arena only, because there's logos involved, which I do think is nice in terms of voting. I think that is good for the fans. But I also don't agree with it because it takes one person to take a picture of each logo and name, and it gets leaked. But I do agree with the way that they kind of went about it. I don't like Hockey Club. I'm glad that Washington didn't stick with football team or football club. But their way of getting around Yeti by putting a local cultural heritage as essentially what a Yeti is, to get around it, kind of a
power play.
Kind of a power play, kind of a middle finger to Yeti coolers, as they weren't willing to co-own the IP of the name. But I think my favorite is Mammoth. I think Wash. I don't.
Yeah, something.
It's like, it's cool. It's unique. It's local. But I think Mammoth was probably my second choice behind Yeti anyways. So
honestly, I'm gonna disagree with you. I think however you want to pronounce it, I think that almost takes the cake over Mammoth because it adds more of an identity to the hockey club, and it helps the hockey club intertwine with the community that it will be supporting, and the community supports.
That's fair,
that
but
hockey.
I think the Utah community has already embraced this team much more than I thought they would.
Oh, 100%.
So I think giving them a good name that there's a lot of potential with logo-wise and alternate logos and like mascot.
Yeah.
Like I think that giving them something cool to root, and I think like the local thing is really cool, but I think marketing-wise, they're gonna want to get out there.
Yeah.
The color scheme is really great.
I think the color scheme is beautiful.
And I think that would have gelled very nicely with Yeti. Unfortunate that didn't work out, but I'm happy with either of those options. If either of them become the name, I'll be upset if it is Hockey Club.
Yeah, I really hope that they don't stick with Hockey
If
Club.
it's like a team like Montreal or an original 16, and they had been Hockey Club, that makes sense.
You're right.
Because that's traditional. But at this point, you're the newest team in the league. You came into the league this year. What are you trying to do?
Yeah. I mean, I think Utah hockey team is going to stay there for a long time.
I do think so.
With how the community has reacted this season, and
the
not
way that the owners have been pouring themselves into it.
And it's honestly, they're not having a bad season right now.
They are a feisty team.
They are currently, I mean, granted, according to the Wheel of Odds, they're only at a 20% odds to make the playoffs, but maybe a hot take, maybe not. I think if they stuck with Arizona Coyotes, the percentage would be even less.
For sure. I think I'll give you a hot take here. I want you guys to react to it.
Is this whistle worthy?
I don't think it's whistle worthy. If a team is getting put into a new market, a non-traditional hockey market, not like in the Midwest, say if like Wisconsin was to get a team, that's different. If you're putting a team in like Florida, or like when Dallas came into the picture, a team in California, I think it needs to be a team that's moving there rather than expansion team. Because if you get a bad expansion team, and I know Vegas got lucky with the rules around them, they were gifted a super team essentially.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of the super team, they're at a 99.7% odd
wagons
to make the playoffs, even at a 9% to win the cup in total. So
Knights is just a.
They're projected to have a 105-point season.
Yes, but I think if you're going into a non-traditional market, you need an established team with GMs. You need players. You need a farm system. I think even if they're not great, players get like they
just ignore it.
There needs to be like an established, and some players don't like moving, but they get that spark to perform in the new place when fans are there and actually cheering them on. Whereas if you're gonna like put a team in like Wisconsin or like I don't know, anywhere really in the Midwest, there is a hockey culture already there. You can do an expansion team. So I think that's my take.
Okay. It's a solid take.
Thank you.
But yeah, let's talk about the Wild's current odds here. They are, even though this was supposed to be a rebuild year, they're projected to reach about 98 points this season. If they push a little bit extra for a good stretch, they could easily break 100 points this season, which would be a W in my books. But yeah, currently sitting at about 91% to make the playoffs. Only about a 32% to make the second round, and then it's a steep decline.
The usual Minnesota Wild.
Yes, the usual Minnesota Wild season. I want to talk. I know we're Minnesota sports, but we kind of venture off a little bit. Washington Capitals pretty much they're at a 99.99% to make the playoffs, and
that's a team of destiny.
Yeah, but the Vegas has the highest percentage to win the cup right now at 11%. Sure. So I mean, take all the percentages with a grain of salt. I kind of just use it as a benchmark.
Yeah, I kind of use it to see what teams are gonna get in.
Yeah, so I think as of right now, we're looking at the Capitals, the Jets, Golden Knights,
Jets are good too.
Oilers, Hurricanes, Dallas Stars, Kings, Florida. Surprisingly enough, Toronto Maple Leafs. Kind of surprising.
Even though they're down 2-0 right now to the Wild.
Yep.
As we speak.
New Jersey Devils, Minnesota Wild, and then kind of up in the air would be 4 teams: Colorado, Senators, Lightning, and Calgary.
How do we feel about the Rantanen trade?
Hey,
Oh,
that is something that we should talk
yeah.
about too. That is,
Yeah.
As a Minnesota sports fan, I'm happy about it.
Yes.
Yeah, Natchez
Yeah.
is good, but he's not Rantanen.
the fact that Taylor Hall is no longer a Blackhawk is very surprising to me.
I think
The Rantanen one, I mean, you could see the warning signs coming. The Colorado didn't.
Have you heard that he was talking to reporters from his country, and he was like, "I was willing to take less than market rate to stay there."
Right. Yeah.
Which,
Yeah.
fantastic for Wild fans that he's out of there.
Yeah.
Because
That
good
breaks up
Lord, if they can keep that core, that is terrifying. I'm glad he's out of there.
I feel like Colorado would definitely take a hit with him leaving. I don't understand why you would take a core player out of your team in the middle of the season. It would make sense as an off-season move. It would still be
Yes.
kind of shocking, like Stamkos, last season.
Stammer, yeah.
But
Yeah.
that happened during the
But
offseason.
Stammer was much older.
Yeah.
So it
Bro,
made a little
I'm-
bit more sense.
I'm giving a comparison. A core
Yeah.
player on a team that's just like they're there. That's their team.
Yeah.
But to do that during the middle of the season kind of scratched my head. And even with Taylor Hall. And then Chicago is getting this partial salary of
But
Rantanen.
apparently, they're retaining some
So-
salary to make the deal work. But they get a 3rd round pick for Taylor Hall.
Yeah.
But I heard that they really only got Taylor Hall's value was less than a 3rd round pick, and the only reason they got it is the retaining of the salary, which I don't necessarily agree with his value around the league. I think it should be at least a 3rd round pick. But I mean, they get an extra pick. They have the cap space to do it. I just feel really bad for Bedard. I know they're division rivals, but Bedard's an electric player. You want players like that to be the face of the league. You want that to bring in fans, and that not happening and him being kind of left out on an island on the ice is just not encouraging to see, and it kind of sucks. But also, as a Wild fan first, it's nice knowing that there's a good potential that the Blackhawks don't complete this rebuild properly.
Yeah.
And
So, I don't know if you guys have seen the new lines for Carolina Hurricanes now, but currently, as
oh
it
my
sits,
God.
is Mikko Rantanen, Sebastian Aho, Jason Blake. That's a crazy line.
That is great.
Second line is Taylor Hall, Just Perry,
Kotkaniemi.
There you go.
Go to
I'm not even going to pronounce the other one. Andre. I mean,
Why can I not do it?
Svechnikov?
Yeah.
yeah. Hey, there we go.
Jesus.
You guys got it. You guys got it. So I mean, yeah, that's crazy. I mean, that's a huge pickup for Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah.
I feel like Taylor Hall might be more of a depth player than anything at this point, but
He's a solid middle six forward.
yeah, I mean,
On a good team, he's a middle six forward.
Yeah. I think maybe he should have been bumped on the 3rd line, but
Yes, that's middle six, though.
I mean,
Not top six, it's middle six.
yeah, but whatever. I'm not the coach for the Hurricanes. If it works out for them, it works out. Moving on to NFL talk and coaching.
Yes. So, Cowboy fans, Raider fans, and Jaguar fans, you guys should be happy. I think you guys are gonna, especially Jaguars. I think you guys are gonna do pretty good this season. Let's talk about
Duval.
let's talk about the Cowboys and Brian Schottenheimer. So obviously everyone saw that Mike McCarthy is no longer the head coach of the Cowboys, which I think is good.
Good for him.
Yes, and then
Good
they
to
brought
get
on Brian Schottenheimer. He is really good. I think he can definitely bring this Cowboys team to a deep playoff run.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Blow the whistle, blow the whistle, blow the whistle.
You don't think so?
No, Schottenheimer,
That's-
everywhere he's coached, has been not a train wreck, but he's not a good coach. He's not a good schemer. He's Jerry's yes man. Jerry knows he can walk all over him, and it's just going to go further and further and further down the toilet. It's going to swirl and swirl and swirl. And my guess is it gets clogged, my guys. It's bad. Schottenheimer is a yes man.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't see them making a deep playoff run.
No.
There has to be more of a rebuild.
Yes, I don't think
a lot of aspects.
I don't
of that
think
team.
Schottenheimer's a good enough coordinator to deal with that level of cap hit that's going on there.
Unless he wants to absolutely get cracked out and do a complete overhaul of the team in one off.
But Jerry would never do that.
No.
He's Jerry's yes man. Yeah. Jerry's not going to allow it, so which means Brian Schottenheimer's going to get down on his knees, go, "Yes, Jerry," and keep taking the enormous paycheck that he's getting just to stroke Jerry's ego.
You're right. Chicago Bears getting Ben Johnson, former Detroit offensive coordinator. How do we feel about that?
I think it's boomer bust. It is so boomer bust because Caleb is nowhere near Jared Goff. Like, they are pretty much opposite quarterbacks. Jared Goff is extremely on time, precise, stands in the pocket. He'll move if he absolutely needs to, but he's a pocket passer, on time, precise, accurate. And Caleb Williams, even in college, didn't do that. He was moving his feet, making off-platform throws, trying to play hero ball. And I think you can incorporate that, but I don't know if he can get enough of that out of his game to properly work with Ben Johnson. I think if it works, though, good God, watch out, league.
Yeah.
Because they have a young roster. They have plenty of cap space. They have plenty of picks. I think it's a scary potential, but again, I think it's boomer bust.
Yeah, I think in Chicago there is some light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, but it all depends on how the front office develops
and
their team.
Brian Poles has shown flashes of brilliance. I don't know if the Bears can overcome the McCaskey's craziness, just like with the Cowboys and Jerry's senileness. Which also, I want to address the glory holes interview comments that he made. That's an oil term. That's how he made his money. He's said it before. It's not like that. It's not him going completely crazy. He is old. He is probably senile. That's actually an oil term. He's not being inappropriate right then. Other times I can't speak for, but right then in that interview that's going viral, he's being okay. I will say that in his defense.
Yeah. Let's talk about another big head coach, Pete Carroll for the Las Vegas Raiders. I think this is a great head coach.
Yes.
Especially what he did with Seattle. Obviously, he will be the oldest head coach of all time. Yep. He is 73. He'll be turning 74. And then I have a couple of percentages that I would like to share with you guys.
Can I touch on the Pete Carroll hire just a
little
bit?
Absolutely.
Yes. I think a lot of people are like, you need someone to turn around the Raiders franchise. I think you need someone right now to stabilize it. Yep. And Pete Carroll is absolutely that guy. Not every head coaching hire needs to be a 34-year-old offensive genius mastermind because those don't always work out. You need someone who's established, smart, and can stabilize that organization because you've got Tom Brady up in the owners thing. They hired John Spytek, who's been a GM candidate for years now. He's well respected. And you've got Pete Carroll, a culture builder. Granted, it's not a long-term fix, but that is someone to stabilize. And I get it. There are so many coaching legends that played their last game before he's going to play or coach his first game with the Raiders. But he's a young soul. He's young at heart. I know that he's going to be 74, but if anyone's going to coach at that age, it's him and very few others.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really see even a lot of people doing a normal job at that age.
Exactly.
They're usually retired.
Which tells you the commitment that he wants.
He loves the game. He's going if Tom Brady, Spytek, and Carroll can't stabilize at least, it doesn't have to be like deep playoff runs, but stability, the Raiders are screwed. But I do think that trio, because Brady's kind of a consultant for them,
Yep.
but that's all you really need him to be. He's been around winning cultures. He has such an ego that I think you have to keep him at an arm's length, but I think they're doing that, and he's a consultant. So I think it's a good system there. Let's see if that can outweigh Mark Davis's bad haircut and craziness.
All right. So the last time the Raiders made the playoffs was in 21. So
Okay.
almost 4 years.
The timeout.
Timeout? Oh, yeah.
Yep,
the timeout.
So the overall Raiders have played in 65 seasons, and 23 of those times they have made it to the playoffs. So 23 divided by 64, you get that, and you times that by 100. That is 35.4% of their seasons have ended with a playoff appearance. And granted, they've won 3 Super Bowls, one in 76, one in 80, and one in 83. Now the Minnesota Vikings have played 31 times in playoffs in their 64 season history. Obviously, that's 1 year less than the Raiders.
Yes.
Oh boy. 31 divided by 64, you get that, you times that by 100. Almost 50% of their seasons have ended with a playoff appearance.
Yeah.
Just crazy. Yet again, just by 1 season, but that still blows my mind. And we have no Super Bowls for that.
Oh, they're the winningest franchise
Yep.
in North American sports to have never won a championship.
Yeah. So I feel like the Raiders, yet again, you talked about it. Carroll is one of those, season high energy guys that can turn things around.
Yep.
So what do you think of this decision? Obviously, Carroll's got that experience. Do you think he can spark something in this Raiders team, especially with a young roster too?
Yes. I think so. I think they're going to be in the sweepstakes for Darnold, maybe Cousins, because I think they're looking. Because
they want to win.
No. I think because Carroll always wanted Russell Wilson to bomb it downfield.
Yep.
That's what Darnold's the best at. That's the best part of his game. I think he fits there. I know Brady doesn't exactly like Darnold as a quarterback, but I think if Carroll says he fits what I want to do, they have the cap space to get him. And I think it's not a bad decision if you want. I think Carroll is a guy that can maybe not get as high of play as Darnold got for most of the season, but he'll get him to be performing well. So I think that is a very good fit for him. I think that's a good place for him to land. Yeah, I like the steps that the Raiders are taking. I didn't think those words would ever come out of my mouth.
Speaking of Russell Wilson, there are rumors of him maybe going to Raiders. His contract ended this year, so obviously maybe we can see Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson. How do we feel about that?
I think that'd be really fun to see a reunion.
Yeah.
I don't think it happens.
Yeah.
I think they when Russell Wilson left, there was kind of it was like a respectful breakup. It was like, it's time to be done. There's no hard feelings. It just isn't working anymore. We need to be going our separate ways.
Olin's had that conversation before.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Because
I
mean, Russell Wilson's only 36. So
Yeah, so
36
Only-
in the NFL is old.
yeah,
Well,
for a quarterback anyway.
I hate to say that because
I
13 years.
Yeah.
I thought he was older in my opinion, but I don't know. I feel like
I think, I don't know.
if he does get signed, it's not going to be more than like 2 years.
It's not going to be too much, yeah.
Like I
think it's 2 years with one guaranteed, so they can get out of it.
I said it.
For sure.
I said in episode 1, he's done. He's washed.
he's so
It's
washed.
over.
He had his time.
I think if he
Fine.
goes to the right coach with a good offensive mind,
He'd
I
be a
think
good
he could do
backup.
better. But yeah, I think right now he is a bottom tier starter.
He's just at this point, I would just put him as
If you want
a
someone to,
backup.
if there's a team that needs to increase their jersey sales, that's probably
Honestly, you'd be signing him for the jersey sales.
Listen, I know he's a cornball. I will always respect Russell Wilson. My cousin went to the Children's Hospital in Seattle. He visited there. Was there for my aunt and my cousin. Great dude, total cornball, but a phenomenal dude. I'll always respect him. And yeah, I mean,
I'll follow that up by saying that it doesn't matter who his coach is, who the players on his team are. He's done. He's done.
We'll see his retirement.
He lost.
soon.
He lost his touch.
A long time ago. But
Now let's talk about Jaguars with Liam Cohen. I think Liam Cohen took the head coaching job there just because of the firing of general manager Trent.
for
Baalke.
sure. That's why no one. That's why Ben Johnson didn't go there. I mean,
What's the guy's name? The owner.
Shad Khan.
Yeah, he said that he'd be willing to fire the GM if the coach.
Yeah.
So
And
just
I
wanted
like.
it
I
that
get
way.
it. I grit it. Liam Cohen went about the process a bit shady with the Buccaneers,
Sketchy.
but I mean, head coach money versus highest paid coordinator money, big difference. I don't blame him. I would have done things differently, but I don't blame him really at all. And other than the Duval clip, he seems to be a very chill, likable dude.
He's got so
That
much
is-
negative aura.
Shut up. Everyone in that facility seems to really like him and respect him, so I do hope it works out for Jacksonville because I still like Trevor Lawrence. Oh my god. There's a reason he was that highly touted, and Jacksonville has been a crapshoot since he's got there.
Bro, Alden's like Tony Romo, and Trevor Lawrence is Patrick Mahomes.
what? All
Makes
right.
sense?
It's Chris
Right.
Collinsworth.
Tony Romo too, though.
So-
A little bit, yeah.
Lots of good head coaching stuff for this season. Yet again, Cowboys fans, Raiders fans, and Jaguars fans. I would be excited for this year.
Who do you think coaches for the Saints? Because they're the last team to hire.
That's a great question.
Dan Campbell.
No, he's not. He's
He's
not
staying.
leaving.
He's gonna
He's
stay
not
in
leaving.
Detroit.
That was a joke.
I'm
I'm not a
I've
casual.
heard Kellen Moore
Yeah.
is up there. Eagles offensive coordinator.
Who's the guy that just got fired from the Raiders?
His name.
Antonio Pierce.
That's what I was gonna say. Okay, don't be.
No, I don't.
Could you
think-
imagine though? Could you imagine
No, I couldn't.
him and Derek Carr back together? Or even though actually Derek Carr was not on that team.
I think the Saints are a sneaky team to take like a Jalen Milroe in the first round because I think 1 year behind Derek Carr develop with the coaching staff because Milroe's a project, and I do think he gets overdrafted because he's like a smaller Anthony Richardson, and Richardson got drafted 4th overall for his measurables. Yeah, I mean. Sneaky team to watch out for. We'll cover the draft later in this video, though.
Yeah, the Super Bowl, Eagles and Chiefs.
Kendrick Lamar, that's what I'm here for.
Same.
That's another thing I was. Just
And
about to
SZA,
say.
that's going to be a
I
great
think-
halftime show.
Yeah.
This will be what 4 episodes straight. The Chief Pete is inevitable.
It is.
Yeah.
So
Listen. Oh,
Yeah.
Go right ahead.
No, you finish.
No. Go.
Okay.
You know what?
We're Minnesota.
So obviously, Super Bowl is one of the most
Where are you gonna go?
highly
I was just
anticipated
gonna
sporting
go.
events in the world.
My bad.
And here are 5 things to be watching for the game. Competitive matchup. Chiefs and Philadelphia, both strong contenders, but obviously we all know how that's gonna go. Second of all, high scoring game. I do think
Do you
Chiefs
think
and
both those
Eagles.
defenses are going to let up a lot of points?
I think so. I do think so.
I think that's a hot take.
Jalen Hurts, he's doing pretty good this season, in my opinion. Mahomes is just doing Mahomes things.
Yeah.
I think
He wins in the playoffs.
I do think both teams will reach the 30-point mark, if not a little less. And then defensive battles. Whoever's defense does a little bit better will be a crucial role in determining the outcome of the game. And then star power. Watch out for yet again either Mahomes, Hurts, Travis Kelce, or even A.J. Brown to make some good plays.
What about Saquon?
I also forgot Saquon to put in here. Also, Saquon is also a G. I do think he's going to make some big runs in that game as well. And then coaching matchup. Obviously, you got Andy Reid for the Chiefs, and then you got Nick Sirianni for the Eagles.
Baby.
I still hate Sirianni. I know he just wins, but
he's just
I can't imagine it lasting for much longer of them just winning.
I understand where you're coming from. Also, he is one of the very young coach, and he quickly established himself as one of the best coaches in the league, in my opinion.
I think the only hope for Eagles fans, and I don't want to talk to you guys. I wish I didn't have to, but the only hope we have for Kansas City not doing a three-peat, which, by the way, I came to a conclusion. I don't know why I hate the Chiefs. The reffing kind of sucks, but I think I'll admit it.
Good teams don't take penalties. Good teams are dangerous and force teams to take penalties against them to try and stop them.
Bingo!
I hate good teams, and that's why I hate the Chiefs.
I'm trying to set my differences aside, and I might watch the Super Bowl. And because, the only way, Eagles fans, that you are going to have even the slightest chance of lifting the LeBron trophy.
Lombardi?
Yeah. Don't let Kansas City Chiefs in the end zone in the first period.
First quarter.
I'm a hockey guy. I'm not a football guy.
No.
You don't say.
The jersey?
The jersey.
No
the Kevin
freaking
Fiala
way.
jersey. But that's my take on that is you control possession the first quarter, you might have a chance.
And then a couple of things left for me. A couple of other things to watch for the game. Mahomes' health. Obviously, he's been having ankle injuries for so long now, so
that hasn't affected him.
Yeah.
That won't matter.
I don't. He's got an extra week to recover too.
Yeah. That won't matter.
Well, anyway, and then Jalen Hurts, most improved players in the league, and then Eagles pass rush, one of the best pass rushes in the league. So expect
Jalen Carter is a monster, both on and off the field.
Yep. He's an angry man.
Yeah. And then the Chiefs receiving core, you have Kelce, you have Juju, you have Marquez, so expect them
I do
to be
want
key
D-Hop
factors.
to get a ring.
Me too. Yeah. But not
he's been so disrespected his entire career. He deserves it.
Not with the Chiefs.
All right.
I'm personally cheering more so for the Chiefs. I had an uncle that lived there for a long time, but also I just despise Philly sports fans.
Yeah,
and
I'm pretty sure we went over that last week.
Yeah, I know, but I can't.
I'm cheering. My cheer is I hope both teams don't have fun.
You're cheering for SZA
cheer for the refs
malfunction.
Hey. I got SZA's numbers.
Anyways,
Okay.
All right. Sure you do, buddy. All right. College hockey, huh?
No, hold on, wait, one more thing.
Oh,
Sorry. All right, this is gonna be Carter's 5 things that he's excited for the Super Bowl this year. Editor in post, if you can go things and the MLB sound,
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, those things. Okay. All right, here I go. Carter's top 5 things he's most excited for the Super Bowl. Number 5, betting on the color of the Gatorade.
Oh yes, the prop bets.
Number 4, any other prop bet.
Okay.
Number 3, let's see. Hopefully a surprise guest as Tyler the Creator at the Super Bowl halftime show.
Love that.
Number 2, Kendrick Lamar, and number 1, my girl SZA. That's my list. I don't care about the football at all. I just want to see my prop bets make me money, and
You're not excited for Taylor Swift?
SZA. No, I will never be excited for Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift?
Watch your words.
I don't like Taylor Swift, period. That's it.
Yeah. Otherwise, as Tristan said, college hockey. So
should I hit? Never mind. Well, yeah, college hockey.
yeah, he can join us once he gets back.
Yeah.
So St. Cloud State. Let's talk about them first. So
welcome back, Tristan.
Pop's called.
Should we? Is there anyone else? All right, we are going to jump into the Timberwolves, and let me tell you, they've been looking good. They've been looking real good.
I know.
Not beating the best teams in the league, except for the Nuggets, but they're kind of on a little slump themselves this season. So, but they're 5-3 in their last 8 games. Currently on an 8-game win streak. Like I said, they're looking good.
They're looking better, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't say good, I guess. I would just say they're looking better than what I've seen the first half of the season.
What do you think about the rumors for De'Aaron Fox?
I would take it in a heartbeat.
Don't they not have the cap space to go get him, though?
I have no idea, but if they do, please do it.
Please do it.
Mike Conley is not
more and more
going to be it.
I'm hearing that Julius Randle is out because he's going to pick up his player option. And so what you need to do is trade him to a stupid team, because if you don't, you're the stupid team.
Trade him to the Washington Wizards.
Who are you going to get back, though?
Picks.
Cool.
A mascot at this point. just
rack
pick
of
up
basketballs.
Yeah.
No, because he's been stepping it up lately, because I think he knows that he's gone. So he wants to, increase his value, because if he gets traded for peanuts, it just makes him look bad.
Yeah. Well,
whatever.
This whole season has made him look
maybe
bad.
Jimmy Butler?
No, he would never come back.
He would never.
I love bringing him up every time we talk.
LeBron James. Pick up LeBron.
Yeah, we cannot afford LeBron.
Oh, we can. I'll donate some money.
$1.
I'll pitch in a penny
If
for
every
LeBron James.
Minnesotan gives $20, would we have enough to pay LeBron James?
How many people live in the state of it? I'll do this.
Oh Lord.
But yeah, I came off of a game on Monday against the Hawks, 100-92.
While they didn't play great, they did win.
Yeah. I mean, Ant 23, Julius Randle 20, and I hate to say that I want Julius Randle gone because he's been stepping it up a little bit too, but I don't know, he just doesn't fit.
Sounds like the Heat are interested.
Minnesota.
Very.
Jimmy Butler.
No, he's not coming.
Jimmy Butler. I think everyone owes Wiggins and Cat an apology for that whole saga, because look at him on the Heat now.
All right. And then looking at Gophers basketball.
Ooh. Okay, so you're talking about statistics, right?
Yes.
If all 5,738,000 people in Minnesota donated only 20 smackaronis, we would have $114 million to give to LeBron. I feel like that would be enough money
For him to come to Minnesota?
Yeah.
I mean, he makes $48.73.
So if we could triple his salary,
he'd leave LA to come to Minnesota.
I will be setting up a GoFundMe page in a week for this.
Link in bio.
Link in bio.
That
Please.
sounds like something else.
Please don't donate to it. I'm not actually going to do that. Anyways, so Gopher basketball. They've been kind of on a tear, huh?
Yeah?
Yeah, they
lost to
Michigan State, but that's the number 7 team in the
Michigan State, all their athletic teams this year have just been crazy.
minus football.
Well, we don't talk about that.
We don't talk about football. But yeah, they lost Michigan State. They beat 16th ranked Oregon. They beat Iowa at home for the first time in I don't know how many years. They beat Michigan, who was ranked when they beat them. But
Dawson Garcia.
Yes, Dawson Garcia. You are a
kid.
dog, bro. You have the talent to go to a team that might make it to the Final Four.
And yet you are here.
He's here, and I love the respect for your state.
Yeah.
Hometown boy right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have anything to add on to Ghost for basketball, but
Ben Johnson saving his job a little bit. Was on a scorching hot seat. I think temperature has gone down a little bit, but still.
Sorry, I'm intently watching the Wild game on our computer while we are.
He's a hockey guy.
Hockey guy. If you couldn't tell, I'm a hockey guy.
Not the jersey.
Not the jersey.
Couldn't tell at all.
Or the other jersey. hockey jerseys if anything else up here.
Anyways,
yeah, Loons.
yes.
Take it
So I'm going to talk about some Loons trading, and then I'll talk about some of the other tradings in the MLS. Welcome to my segment, Chris Tradings. Holomane signed till 27 with the 28 option, and then we bought out Teemu Pukki's contract. And then I will tell you guys more about why we did that. I found out some information about that.
Insider trading?
Yes. So Minnesota United FC 2 team signed Britton Fisher again to another year. Absolute dog for the 2 team. Great defender. Well, I definitely do see him in maybe like a year or two coming up to Minnesota United. And then we signed Will Trapp to 1 more year. And then Minnesota signed Tani Alwase through 27 with another
player option or team option?
Club option for 28.
All right.
So Hassani Dotson.
Yes.
Thank God he's out. So he is not coming back to Minnesota. He is unhappy with the 2 parties.
He wasn't terrible.
He wasn't terrible. He was a core player for this team,
for a while.
especially defense.
Yes.
Just wasn't happy. Apparently, the team just made promises and then backed out, and they kept going forward.
They've had a couple people be unhappy here, and that makes me
a
little concerned about the front office, at least of the Loons.
Yep. So with us buying out Teemu Pukki's contract and getting more money out of that, Loons have been negotiating potential deals for 2 young midfielders. Jiang Ho-hyun, sorry if I butchered that, and then Owen Jean. So Jiang, who is 24, he played in Korea's first division, and won the league's Young Player of the Year award in 23.
There we go.
He also played for South Korea in the seniors men's national team and was on the gold winning team for the winning side of the under 23 team.
There we go.
Big deal for him. I definitely do think that'll be a good pickup.
Yes.
Especially if they go in the route of the MSFU 2 team. And then Jean, who's currently with Amiens, the French second division, just 21-year-old, who was listed at 6'1".
Sheesh.
Big midfielder.
Wow.
Big boy. And he's already made 108 appearances for his team in the beginning of 21.
So he's got some tread on the tires.
Yes. So I think that'll be a good pickup if we can get them. Obviously, nothing has been said. Yep. But obviously, with Dotson out, and then with Pukki out, that'll give us some more money.
Yes.
And then we can go for those 2 players.
Yeah, we can go for bigger name free agents.
And especially with Dotson going out, we need another core player, especially at defense. Yeah. And with the draft that came up, we got 4 players, 2 forwards, 1 midfield, and 1 defense.
Yep.
The 2 forwards, I'm iffy about.
Yep.
The defense defender though, he did really good. So I'll talk about that more next episode because I've lots to talk about. But yeah. And then since we got rid of Teemu Pukki, this would allow us to sign Joaquin Pereira and Kelvin Yaboa to the either the squad or the second squad.
Okay.
So it definitely feels like Minnesota just needs to juggle these bits into pieces.
Sounds like they're getting younger.
Yes. So they have until February 21st to get its roster in.
Okay.
So I think we'll be good by that time.
Oh yeah, surely.
So I'm excited for this season. I'm ready. Now let's talk about what's been going on in the MLS. First thing I gotta say is Lionel Messi will stay in Inter Miami. They will extend his contract.
Okay.
They are going to loan him to Europe. Now, this is huge for him because he wants to keep playing in the offseason, which I don't know about you guys, but as you continue to get older, the less you go down. So this will be good for him just because it'll allow him to stay healthy and fit.
Yes.
So couple
Plus,
of
he
teams.
just loves the game.
Yeah.
You know.
So a couple of teams that I think that hitter will be loaned out to. Obviously, Barcelona.
Yeah.
He's been wanting to make a Barcelona return for so long now. Obviously that's not his boyhood club, but it's one of the clubs that he has been with for literally his entire life. So definitely that. Maybe even somewhere in the second division for La Liga, somewhere around that. And then another player, Neymar. Sorry, Chicago Fire fans. He is not going to be joining your team. He will be joining his boyhood team, Santos. I told you guys a couple of days ago that he is very unhappy in the Saudi Arabia League. Just wasn't doing what he was expected to do. Wasn't scoring a lot of goals, a lot of injuries, and so this is a good trade or a good getting more money in. But yeah, two huge players that definitely see where that goes. I do think Neymar probably plays there for maybe a year or two before he probably retires.
Really? You think he retires?
I don't. Well, see, the problem with soccer or football is the lower tier teams that you go to. You don't really have the best chance of going back to those high.
You don't think he can make the jump back up?
I don't think so.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I mean, even if he does, maybe he signs like a 1-day contract just to maybe retire it out. But I don't think he goes back. Same with Messi, or actually, I take that back. He probably will sign for Barcelona to play maybe 1 year, but he probably will be a backup, even most at that.
Yeah. So you think that he goes to Barcelona and then he comes back here and plays the regular season?
Yes, that it's already a done deal.
Okay.
Contract's already signed. They just need to figure out where he wants to be loaned out.
Yeah.
So that yet again, really good for Inter Miami fans. Sticking around for 1 or 2 more years, and then we'll see where he goes. But anyway, off to New York. The club announced last Friday that Dante Van Zier was transferred to the Belgian Pro League side of KA Gent. Reported of a $3 million fee open for the designated player. And then Vancouver, I think this is a great I don't know.
I looked at all and I'm just laughing.
But anyway, they acquisition a Canadian international winner of Jaden Nelson. 22-year-old. He is a former homegrown player of Toronto FC. He played in the World Cup for Canada. Big player for Vancouver to get. He achieved at his last team in 23 at Rosenborg. He achieved 8 goals and 8 assists in 44 games for the 26-time champions. Not a good, statistic for in 44 games, but he's only 22 years old, so there's lots to improve on.
Yes.
So I think that's a good deal for the Whitecaps. So expect him to either develop either this season or next season, or just start getting goals out of the bat. And then Austin FC acquired Albanian international Murto Uzuni from the Spanish second division of Granada FC on Friday. He signed a contract with Austin to the 27th season, and then obviously with a club option of 28 for a transfer fee of $12.3 million, setting the club record fee. Yeah, a lot of money. And then Austin FC acquired he's just gonna be a fucking beast in my opinion. Yeah. All right. And then LAFC signed a midfielder named Yaboa to a 2-year contract extending through 26 with a option for 27 on last Friday. Acquired the rights from San Diego, trading $50K in the general or GAM, which is general allocation money. And then let's see. The 27-year-old international brings some pretty good stats. He played with Columbus Crew, significant impact of 6 goals and 13 assists in 93 matches across all competitions. He was really one of those core players for Columbus for their victories in the MLS Cup in 23 and the Leagues Cup in 24. So expect him to make a big uh, impact for LAFC, and obviously they I do have them picked to win the league this year instead of LA Galaxy. So yeah. So lots and lots of things going for MLS. I will keep you all informed for next week. But yeah, that's it for the Loons.
Good job. W's.
College hockey.
All right. Let's let's do it.
Nothing much in the top 5. Well, I should say nothing has changed in the top 5 since last week. Still have Boston College rolling in first, 18-4-1. Michigan State is currently sitting at second, 23-3.
That's ridiculous. They should be number 1.
Well, Western Michigan up there, Minnesota, and then Denver. Finally, St. Cloud State is out of the top 20. Same with Colorado College. Duluth isn't up there either. But,
but I never expected them to be up there. So.
So yeah, well, I guess we'll dive into a little bit of the Michigan State versus Minnesota series, since there was kind of a lot to talk about with that one. Michigan State Friday night absolutely dominated.
Yeah.
9-3 Michigan State there. Let me see if I can't pull up more stats for that game. I believe Isaac Howard got a little bit of some.
He got
2 goals.
Got 2 goals.
Okay, 2 goals. It hasn't updated yet, but
on Friday night.
Strammel.
Yeah, here we go.
Got one. You got an assist too.
Howard also got an assist. So 3 points.
Isaac Howard twice there. Matt Baskal, which is one of their top defensive players for Michigan State, got a couple of, or at least got on the board. Jimmy Snuggerud obviously got some points this weekend as well. But yeah, rough sledding Friday night for Minnesota. Saturday night was a little bit of a better game. We went into OT with that one and a shootout. And Michigan won that one.
Minnesota hasn't. I don't think they've ever won a shootout in their history, or at least it's been a long.
It's a rare occurrence for them to win shootouts.
They like 0-13 in their last 13 attempts.
Yeah. Barstool Gophers though, they made a funny tweet on Friday night saying that if they lost again, there should be some serious conversations to be had, even though you're in the top 5. What's going on over there, Barstool Gophers? You're making a fool out of yourself over there. Your team obviously didn't move in rankings because you played a good team, and yeah, kind of a joke post, but whatever. Just me being a hater a little bit. Yeah, I mean Minnesota, they're looking like a good team this year.
They are consistently a good team.
They are consistently a good team. I mean, how do we, if the Frozen Four went off of rankings and Frozen Four started this weekend, you would have Boston College, Michigan State, Western Michigan, and then Minnesota as the Frozen Four teams. How do we feel about that? If that did happen.
Damn good matchups.
Yeah, really good.
Damn good matchups.
I mean, good for Western. I feel like if they're going to make a run to the Frozen Four, this is the year to do it.
And like they've been building towards it for a while.
Yeah. And honestly, it would be really cool to see them go. They've always been such a good team.
Bumpers leading that team.
Yes. Minnesota making another appearance. Maybe they could win it all after the very.
Oh, that was a heartbreaker last year.
Hurts
to see Faber like that.
Yeah.
Hurts to see him with a crappy beard though.
Yeah. That was 2 years ago. 10 seconds into Quinnipiac.
Go Quinnipiac.
Yeah, I mean Boston College obviously going to be a favorite to win it all. Michigan State obviously up there too. And congratulations to Augustina. They're finally ranked
for the first time.
Good for them. That is so awesome, especially after their brand new rink is just opened too. So, I mean, that is really something to look forward to as well. Massachusetts made it up there. Same with New Hampshire. Connecticut's up there. UMass, Providence, Maine. Maine is currently sitting 6th. So, I mean, they've been moving up a little bit.
They have been, yeah.
Connecticut has the worst win percentage out of the top.
Yes, they're
like
currently
10 teams.
14, 8, and 2. So
they play good teams, though.
They do play really good teams. So I feel like they deserve to be up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This is shaping up to be a really fun year.
There's enough parity that it's gonna be a very, very good tournament.
Yeah, I think St. Cloud State fans just kind of
just go on the ride.
Just go on the ride.
Let it be. Let it happen.
We're not making. I mean, something could change in the next few weeks, but we probably won't make the playoffs. Not even close to making the playoffs.
Now y'all know how I felt last year.
It's okay.
The only hope for St. Cloud is to get everybody healthy for the time for the Frozen Face-Off and win the Frozen Face-Off. But that will be such a tall task to do.
Yeah.
That's your only hope for a playoff appearance at this point. You can't rely on your ratings.
Yeah. What I'm saying
they're
for
playing
them
North Dakota this weekend.
So tough. Tough.
Sledding.
So you got North Dakota this weekend. Following weekend, we're at Kalamazoo for Western Michigan, and then following or 2 weekends after that, CC comes here to St. Cloud State.
Oh,
That should be a win.
That we should go.
Well,
we should go to that game.
Well,
we should go to that game.
We also said that Duluth was going to be a win, but
I
never said that.
I do. You got 10 games left in the regular season before playoffs start.
Pretty much, you have to win out.
Yeah,
pretty much.
And that is going to be very impossible for St. Cloud State.
I think the sooner they can get Posh in, don't
rush him.
Don't rush him, but get him in as soon as possible, in a way that's safe and healthy for him to do so without re-injuring himself.
My thing for them is gear up for next year.
Yeah.
You've got young talent. You're offloading some older players this year. Going into next year. Gear up for next year.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about
be a young, fast, dynamic team going into next year. Keep Posh around. Keep your young talent around. Gear up for next year.
I think
make a run next year.
We'll see Gray transfer out. I don't know about Enright.
Enright he's a fifth year, so he's
grad guy.
Yep.
So I mean, maybe we'll get that commit from Belarus that I was talking about in next year. He should be eligible to play. I wouldn't see why he wouldn't be, but I mean, the light at the end of the tunnel is you have a lot of really good commits coming in.
Yeah.
And your current freshman and sophomore class right now
they're
promising.
They are promising.
You got to take this year in the off season, especially the off
Use
season.
it as motivation.
Use it as motivation and develop them like crazy. Develop them like you've never developed before.
Yeah.
And you could have a pretty good team like we saw. 21 and 22 season there, where they're consistently top 10. So, but St. Cloud's main issue with their promising commits is, I would say it wouldn't be a hot take to say that half of those commits are going to decommit before they come to St. Cloud.
Really?
It always happens. You see a list like this of commits, and they're like, oh, these are such good players, and then it gets smushed down to like that big by the time they actually come in. I want to say Oliver Moore was somebody committed to St. Cloud like last year, decommitted, and then committed to Gophers. I don't know who it was, but
I mean, I think you have enough committed close enough to the start of the season that you're going to get most of them.
You'll probably get most of them.
It's not a hot take to say that you maybe will lose. I think at most two.
I'm going to say it's going to be a little bit more than that.
You
but
think so?
That's just me.
All right. We'll keep track of it.
But yeah, I mean, St. Cloud's always been such a good school when it comes to college hockey and being strong. You're going to have off seasons. Every single team has an off
They
season.
have it down here, yeah.
No matter what league, what sport.
The Chiefs.
Well, the Chiefs are going to have an off year once.
I'd love to
It
see
might be a while, but
It'll happen.
it'll happen. You know, it happens with every single team. So, as long as St. Cloud State itself can stay afloat, which I think they'll stay afloat with government funding, they'll be okay. Do I see a natty coming to St. Cloud State in 5 years?
If they have a pop-up lucky season.
Yeah.
Or
if they can.
I'm not going to say never. But
Yeah. You have to develop if you can develop this current class well, and by the time that they're seniors
if you can keep
and super seniors,
group of 3 classes, if you can develop them, keep them here,
you've
got a shot.
You got a good shot at making the Frozen Four there, but I mean, that's a whole mess. Minnesota State is up in the rankings as well.
Yeah, Mankato's doing well.
Mm-hmm.
Currently sitting at 17-7 and 2.
I didn't think they'd turn it around so fast. Good for them.
Yeah, they got shut out on Friday against Ferris State 2-0.
Oh yes,
Came back and had a statement win 7-2 there on Saturday. They are going to be playing this Friday and Saturday in a home series with St. Thomas. That should be a good matchup.
That should be a great one.
That should be a great matchup there. So there is that. I'll look at the rest of their schedule here. Yeah, they play Merrimack. They'll play Nodak. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I'm looking at their schedule from the beginning of the year.
I'm excited to see what happens with St. Thomas.
Yeah, St. Thomas, and then they'll play Augustina, which will be a good matchup. Lake Superior, and then end with the mediocre Bemidji State.
I would like to say this is my formal request to the NCHC to abolish Miami and bring in Minnesota State Mankato.
Honestly, that would be so fun for the NCHC to be more.
Oh my God! If you're just deep, you have 10 teams that can actively make the tournament. Yeah. That'd be phenomenal. But then you'd also have everyone beating up on each other.
Yeah. Then where does Miami go?
Send them to the CCHA.
Yeah, CCHA. They'll fit a little bit better in there.
Yeah,
they're closer to a lot of the teams.
Yeah, but I think
all those Ohio teams there.
But give me Miami, Ohio, and Ferris State every weekend, and just gut it out.
Yeah, there you go.
Does Bowling Green still have a team?
Yeah.
I'd like to see that matchup.
But I mean, if Minnesota State got the opportunity to go to the NCAC, I don't know if they would.
They're kind of dominant in that conference.
Yeah,
and they're still respected enough. Why would you leave?
I mean, you're not having an issue getting branding out there. I mean, they're not selling out.
I like their gray jerseys.
Yes, their gray jerseys are nice,
like
but they're not necessarily selling out their rink. But their rink isn't empty either.
No,
there's
a fan base. They are absolutely there's a very respectable team.
Yeah, I mean, trying to see what good teams they played this year. I mean, they haven't really played any crazy teams. North Dakota, Michigan, those are kind of the 2 top teams that they kind of have been playing. So they've had a pretty easy schedule this year. So, but
who's excited for Augustana to join CCHA?
They already joined.
Yeah, they already joined.
They joined this year.
Yeah. A little late on that one.
My bad,
gang. a little late on that one.
I'll do my little spiel on Duluth because last weekend was good and bad.
Yeah.
Because Friday night you beat Michigan 4-3, almost let them come back though. They were winning 4-1.
Denver.
What did I say?
You said Michigan.
Oh, Denver. My bad. But then you lose to them the next night, and you don't capitalize on 3 power plays all after you're trailing.
Yeah.
I mean,
both games were close.
Yeah.
Duluth won Friday night 4-3, lost Saturday night 2-1. So
I'm just happy that they kept it close in their loss because I feel like every time they start losing, it's like they lose all hope and then they give up like freaking 3 goals.
Yeah. So
and then next weekend they'll be at Omaha. I don't expect a win in both of those games. I expect one win out of that series. Arizona State is going to be a sweep by Arizona State, and then North Dakota playing at the Ralph.
Yikes.
Sweep.
And of course, they're finishing up at St. Cloud State, which could be ending up as a good matchup that weekend.
It's going to be the battle for the middle.
Probably be the one of the few games I actually go to this year.
I think
in North Dakota.
I think we all should try and go to the Colorado College series in a couple weeks.
So Minnesota
Not
Duluth
North Dakota.
has, where was it? There it is. Has 18 power play goals. And then it has a 0.202% in the power play.
So, I think Minnesota Duluth is kind of, I think their fans are already in this mindset, but you're taking a few years to rebuild.
Yep.
That's okay.
And
if you're a Bulldogs fan right now, you're kind of happy with the way this season.
Yeah,
is.
I mean, this is
they've popped back up here.
Yeah,
recently.
and
I mean, they're higher than St. Cloud State in the rankings, so
technically, yeah. But,
sorry, in the standings, I should say.
There you
NCST
go.
standings.
you gotta shut up, Alexa.
Yeah, you got NCHC right now is Western Michigan, Omaha, Arizona State, Denver, North Dakota,
and then that's
Minnesota
where the line
Duluth,
is.
Colorado College, St. Cloud State, and then obviously Miami. Miami has 1 point.
But brutal. Yeah, I mean, a little bit more of Bemidji talk. I mean, there's not much to say about Bemidji. They're just a mediocre, irrelevant team right now. You're not horrible, but you're not great. And you've kind of been stuck
It's kind
in
of
that.
what we feel like as St. Cloud State fans right now.
Yeah.
That's
But-
almost where I went instead of St. Cloud State.
Really?
Yeah. But
I didn't want to
St. Thomas, I mean, you gotta, if you're a St. Thomas fan, I mean, you have to be
You got to be stoked.
yeah,
for
you're
the
gonna
future.
you have to be stoked for the future.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't think it's a question of if your team gets developed. It's a matter of when your team gets developed. Because we talked about it last week. We won't get into it, but yeah, I mean, good Minnesota sports teams right now for college hockey.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
For pretty much every team, really except Bemidji, bright futures for all of the Minnesota college hockey teams. Yeah. Good job, guys.
good job.
Do we end it?
Okay, yeah, we gotta close it. We can't just end it. Come on, guys, what is this? All right, that's gonna be it here. For North Star Sports Talk,
Episode
4. Ep 4. Yeah, make sure you check out the TikTok, the Instagram. Leave a like, subscribe. If there was anything that we knew we were going to talk about next week, I wouldn't tell you. No teasers. Y'all know that. So that is it for this episode.
We'll see you next week.